I was going to say thanks for such a wonderful introduction. Thank you so much for having us. So, we're going to talk about body positivity in the context of roller derby. So the term body image is one that holds many negative associations, in particular amongst young women. I think every young woman, all the way through to adulthood, this is something that they go through. So in our media-driven, fast-paced society, we are constantly bombarded with misrepresentations of female form and what is a desired form that we should each pertain to. So these representations then become embedded in our psyche, and they have a powerful impact on how we perceive ourselves and our body image, our thoughts. Completely, we are affected constantly by this. It's a falsehood. Like, there's so much falsehood around what we should look like, who we should be, how we feel about ourselves, and all of these things have a massive, massive impact. So, today we're going to discuss this in terms of our own personal experiences and how roller derby has changed our thought process, our self-perceptions, all of these things. So I'm no stranger to body dysmorphia, and I've had issues with body image and body shame throughout my life, all circling around my weight. I've been underweight, I've been overweight, I've been lean, muscular, I've been average. It's just fluctuated throughout my life. And it's always caused problems, it's caused inhibitions. And it's not uncommon amongst women in particular, so we thought discussing this today was really, really important within this context. So this has been my thought process throughout most of my life, up until about 2 years ago when I started roller derby. Roller derby isn't a body-specific sport. There is no one body type associated with the sport, as there would be for something like ballet, for instance. You have these ideas of what people should look like, what athletes should be. That's not the case in roller derby, not at all. There's every body type imaginable, and it's not only diverse in this way, it's diverse in terms of personality and physicality. We couldn't be more different, as you can tell from both of us here today, a skater and a ref, a scientist, a musician. It's so diverse, and that's what's wonderful about roller derby. So roller derby brings us all together in such a way that's impossible to describe, but it's the love of the sport and what it brings to you personally is why we all stay, why we're all here. It's very physically demanding, it requires a certain level of fitness. Yes, it remains accessible to all body types. It's all inclusive, and that's another thing that draws people to roller derby. It doesn't matter if you're short, you're tall, you're broad, you're thin, you're slight, it does not matter. There's a place for everyone. And that transcends body type as well into other aspects. So it promotes positive body image as your confidence, strength, skills, endurance continuously grow. It's ever evolving. You only get better. You only make progress. Progress brings confidence, and confidence is something a lot of people can lack. And if you don't have readily access to, I suppose, sports or any other kind of activities, roller derby is a place where you can only get better. And there's always a place for you to get better. You're surrounded by an incredible group of women and men as well, who only will encourage you to be better, to be stronger, try it again. We all fall down. Like, everyone falls. Everyone is like Bambi the first time they put skates on. But you only get better, you only progress, and you only get stronger. So it teaches you to learn to love your body. Another aspect of roller derby is something that can initially kind of put people off, and that's like big dirty word, injury. People get concerned about hurting themselves, and injury does happen. It doesn't happen to everyone, it happens to some people. Injuries can vary, change, but one thing injury does do is it has a negative impact on your body image. You get to a certain place, all of a sudden you realize how strong you are, how confident you've become. And all of a sudden that's plucked from you in an instant. You suffer an injury, breaks down your confidence. One moment you're strong, you're capable, the next that's all taken away. You feel powerless, helpless, like your confidence can diminish. And it's a big healing process, not just physically, but psychologically and emotionally. There's those of us, both Jill and I, have suffered different injuries throughout our time in roller derby. And it does have a negative impact, but the one wonderful thing about this sport is how it does make you stronger and more confident. So once you can get past that initial blow of becoming injured, you look at all the people around you who are strong, they're confident, they're supportive, they're there for you, there are other ways to remain in the league and be active in the league. People help you through your injuries from the first moment you feel ready to put on skates again. And that's something that I think is really, really important, because it makes you never want to give up. Roller derby brings this incredible passion into you, and you want to be better, you want to be stronger. It gives you so much confidence. For instance, like, you would have never seen me in a pair of leggings like beyond 2 years ago. I wouldn't have been comfortable feeling that exposed. Now all I wear is leggings. I don't wear anything else. I live in leggings. It makes you feel strong, which is really, really, really important. And I've gotten to the place, thanks to roller derby, that I'm now in that stage of my life where body image doesn't bother me anymore. I don't care. The older I get, the less I care. I feel strong and confident, and I've never felt this way. And I do owe it all to this sport and being surrounded by such a wonderful group of people. I think, you know, overcoming injury is something that really has pushed that up to a new height, and staying, and we stay with it because we love it, and it gives us such this feeling, and teaches us to love ourselves. And I think we could add.
Yeah, so like Aileen said, I'm no stranger to injury myself, and it really, she's right in how it really does affect your confidence in all aspects of your life. I'm returning from injury myself at the moment, and I've put on a good bit of weight while I've been off injured. I haven't been able to exercise, and that's not something I realised bothered me until recently enough, when I needed to put on a jersey for an event, and I realised I was feeling self-conscious. And that's not something I've really felt in a while. It's just not a feeling I've had to go through. And even though my self-confidence has changed and my relationship with my body has changed, when I told my friends and people that I was doing this talk today, they were surprised, supportive but surprised. And it's the same reaction I got when I said I was going to join a roller derby league. Surprised because I couldn't skate, and I'm not the most body confident person you'll ever meet. And that's primarily been down to my weight from being quite young and as I grew older. And that affected all aspects of my life. So I wasn't comfortable going to the gym because I felt like I'd be the most unfit or the biggest person there. It affected how I felt when I went out because I thought I looked rubbish no matter what I was wearing. And it even affected me at work. I didn't want to speak up in meetings, or I didn't want to do any presentations because I didn't want to be the centre of attention, even just for a minute. I didn't want people looking at me. And that all changed when I joined the Cork City Firebirds. All of a sudden I was thrust into this environment where I was surrounded by these strong, confident women who were all shapes and sizes themselves, but were really owning it. And to be honest, that was quite intimidating. It was a bit of a terrifying thing when, you know, being confident in your own body and, you know, really loving yourself just was a completely foreign concept to me. But the longer I spent with the league, the more I kind of absorbed some of that self-confidence, and bit by bit started, you know, to feel better about myself. And as Aileen said, in roller derby, it's a really inclusive and diverse community. It's made up of completely different people. But it's not just a case that every body type is welcome, it's that there literally is a place for every body type on the track. And roller derby is about embracing what you have and taking advantage of your shape and your size and using it on track, whether you're trying to stop skaters getting past you or you're using it to get past other skaters. For me as a referee, that's a little bit different. The physicality of the game is different. I'm not using my body in the same way. Yet I still found my relationship with my body and my confidence was growing the more time I was spending with these fantastic women and in a huge community. I mean, the roller derby community in Ireland is quite big, and it's made up of just amazing men and women. And the more time I spent in that kind of atmosphere, the more I felt myself feeling better about my own body. But before, I would never, like I said, I would never have been happy speaking in public or doing an event like this. And that spilled into refereeing when I started. Even though, you know, you're not the focus of attention in the game at all, for that brief moment when you're calling a penalty, the attention is on you. And I was so uncomfortable with doing that. But now, I don't think twice about it. It just happens. And that's kind of spilled into the rest of my life. I no longer worry about what I look like when I go out. I am what I am. I look like what I look like. In work, I'm much more confident. I never enjoy presentations, but I don't think anybody really ever does. And I've definitely found myself in all aspects just becoming far more confident. There's an overused phrase in roller derby, which is roller derby saved my soul. I don't think I'd go that far, but it definitely has helped with my confidence issues. My self-confidence is still a work in progress. It probably always will be. I do want to lose the weight I put on while I was injured, but this time it's for my health. It's not because I feel like I need to look a certain way, and I definitely won't be making myself feel bad about it in the meantime. And I think that's the moral of our stories today. All of us suffer with body image issues from time to time, and that's okay. It's not helped by the media or the fact that as women sometimes we're seen as cocky or arrogant if we accept a compliment or admit that we're happy in our own body. But if we focus on the positives, what we have, instead of what we want to change, then we can start to accept ourselves and our bodies for what they are, our bodies and our own unique selves.